Thank you for tuning in to another edition of Magick La Croix. And today I have a special guest with me, Shadow Witch Seductress. So why don't you introduce yourself to the people? I'm sorry.
Hi everyone, Shadow Witch Seductress here. Really glad that you asked me to be on here. It's my first time being live, so I'm so ready.
Oh, okay. All right. And you are currently a YouTuber, correct?
Yes, I am. Yes.
How long have you had your...
Um, if not a year, almost a year now. So I'm rather
Almost
recent,
there.
but I'm getting subscribers like so quickly. I'm like blown away. So,
Okay. And do you think this is because of you put out a lot of videos, don't you?
um, I did at first. I did put out a lot of videos. I try and keep it up as often as I can, but it is something that is not like my strong suit, keeping up because I deal with so many clients, whether it's reading or spell work, so that's my first
Mhm.
priority to help people and that more direct. But, I do update. Like I try to do that every month or so, but
Okay.
surprisingly, I haven't lost any subscribers because it does take a while sometimes before I upload a new video, but it is a regular thing. It is ongoing.
Yeah, I've noticed that, a lot of people that come on and they're new to it, they get subscribers pretty quickly. And I think
Right.
you're one of them. You have over 2,000 subscribers now, right?
Yeah, I think I just hit 4,000.
Oh, well,
Thank
congratulations.
you. Thank you so much.
No problem. Now let's talk some magic. First of all, I have a question for you.
Okay.
What what went into your name? Why'd you choose Shadow Witch Seductress?
Wow. Okay. I took a while and really sat and thought about, different aspects of who I am. I used to grow up, I was the gothic kid growing up. I used to wear vampire fangs. Everybody knew me as a vampire girl, you know, um, and that's kind of where the shadow part came in. So I was like, okay, I'm really, I'm a left-hand pather as well. So that played a huge role in it. A lot of people ask me that, but it's as simple as that. It's not like I'm dealing in shadow magic or anything like that. It's,
Okay.
just that darker side of me. Everybody used to tell me, oh, it's a phase. You'll grow out of it, and I never did. So,
Okay.
I mean, of course, I'm a mother now, and as an adult, I don't feel like it's practical for me to walk around in black and chains anymore. So, I mean, but it's still like who I am. It is who I
Okay.
am. So, that's where that shadow came in. Shadow Witch, for obvious reasons. And Seductress, I always had this very alluring, magnetic type of energy towards me that at first I didn't really understand. So I've always attracted a lot of sexual attention, and a lot of people be like, "Oh, you're trying to seduce me," or "Oh, she's very seductive." I first of all, I think it's a Virgo thing,
It is. It is.
but I definitely chose Shadow Witch Seductress because I felt like every aspect of that title, um, it pertains to me in a very strong way.
Okay. Okay. Now that's really interesting. First was the interesting part. Well, all of it's interesting, but the gothic part, that's interesting. I never knew that. So thanks for sharing that.
Yeah,
Seductress. Now, people swear that I'm bragging when I say stuff like this, but
yeah,
it's just the truth. Virgos have a seductive side without even trying. It's just us.
that's
So,
exactly, yeah, that's it.
okay. So, all right. So, how long have you been practicing?
Wow. Oh my gosh. I've been practicing for like ever, forever. I mean, since I was a little girl. At first it wasn't hoodoo because predominantly I practice hoodoo now, but I started out in Wicca, and it was, it was good, and I was manifesting and I was learning a lot. I call that my like those days like my Hellion days because I was doing all kinds of stuff I probably shouldn't have been doing, you know.
Okay.
Um, but that start. I mean, if I was a kid, I was in like elementary going into middle school, or it was actually in middle school I had started out, and then I had a best friend who came from a pagan household, and that's how she introduced me to it. But other than that, it was just it started that far back. And I struggled with it because I come from a Christian family, and I was born and raised into a Seventh-day Adventist home. And for people, those of you who are familiar with, Seventh-day Adventist, Christians, it's very, 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 very strict. I'm talking ankles, skirts to the ankle, all of that. So it was a struggle, and I was kind of in and out of it for a while. And because I was doing so many things like dabbling, I like to call, um, it was just I was exposed to a lot of the negatives. I don't really want to call it negative because I'm a firm believer in the duality. But back then I didn't really understand it. So I was in and out of it. So I have been practicing since I was a kid, but it wasn't until I reached my adulthood, like 20, 21, that I started taking it very, very, very serious. It's always been a part of who I am. And it is definitely a taboo in my family, not because we're Seventh-day Adventists so much, but because a lot of people are in the closet and they don't want to come out.
That's
So,
very true.
so yeah, I've been practicing it all my life,
Okay.
since I was a little girl.
That's that's uh that's great that you have that many years experience because you're very young looking. So somebody could look at you and say, damn, she just a kid because you do look, but black don't crack. I mean, you already know that. So,
Right.
so do you wear anything that may give you like I wear this stuff? Do you wear anything that may give you away that may hint at your practitioner? Like any
I really,
jewelry or anything?
well, I live in Alabama, and it's very strong here in the South, but it's also taboo. So a lot of people are in the church and they're in what I do, what we do. It's something that kind of scares people. I mean, I'm not one to deliberately hide who I am, because it's like if somebody comes up to me and asks me, "Oh, you Shadow Witch? I seen you on YouTube," and I do get that every once in a while. Yeah.
Okay.
um, I'll be totally honest and totally straightforward. I don't like to sugarcoat things. If you agree or disagree, then that's you. That's not my problem. But sometimes, I'll have a pinnacle ring, or I have a ring. It's somewhere around here. It's crazy because it goes missing so much. But I have a skull ring and a pinnacle ring, things like that. And then I do have crystals that I wear occasionally. But other than, I mean, so many people are wearing those crystals, though. You can't really sit here and claim everybody's a witch because they're
Right.
wearing crystals. And here in
Right.
Alabama, especially with my age group, I'm 24, by the way. Um, so it's like with people like in my age group, they're all into the crystals and they're all into like meditation. And we got the hotep hippies, we call them here in Huntsville. And we have
Mhm.
the vegan hippies, and then we do have a community of witches. We have different little groups. So I mean, if I were to just sit here and just say, somebody can come up to me and identify me based off of what I'm wearing, or anything of that nature, it'd be very hard to. It'll be
Okay.
very hard because we have so
Okay.
many people here in Huntsville who are in church. They're still Christian, and they don't do anything of what I do, but they still rep that heritage, that African
Mhm.
heritage and different things.
Mhm.
So I mean, it's not really blatant. If I just walking
Okay.
up to me, it's not blatant at all. You can't really
Okay.
tell.
Okay. Okay. All right. That has to be really challenging to live in what I consider a redneck state to
It
be a witch and to thrive. So how do you do that?
I honestly, it was so rough. Like, I feel like this year, 2017, coming out of 2016 and going into 2017 was just this huge transformation year for me. Because when, people ask me, how did you get so many subscribers so quick? How did you do this so quick? How did you do that? And I'm like, I can't take any credit for myself. I work very, very, very heavily with my ancestors. There's sometimes I don't know what to do, and I'm just sitting in front of their altar and I'm just telling them what's going on. And it could be something as simple as like, I keep a clay pot, to do the traditional oil lamps, and I'll light that. And I'm like, just to help me, I need this, I need that. and they have come through so strong. That's why I say you are doing it all wrong if you don't start out with your ancestors. Like, I have to give them all the praises, all the ashe, everything, because they are really the reason why I am thriving so hard right now. If it weren't for them, I don't know where I would be, you know?
Okay. Okay. You are so right. I totally 1000% agree with you on that. I just told somebody last night that I said, you know, if you don't know where to go, if you don't know where to begin and you need some guidance, make an ancestor altar and go from there. And I gave her a ritual to do. I've been
Right.
giving that ritual out ever since I mentioned it on my last video. I've been giving that ritual out a lot. I said it's a 7-day ritual just to get you in tune and start communicating with them. So I say to you for doing that, saying, hey, when I need some guidance, I go to my ancestors.
Most definitely.
Okay.
Most definitely.
All right. So have you come into like I said, for somebody who comes from way up north, Philadelphia, when I think of Alabama, I think of like the Dukes of Hazzard and you know, Confederate flags and shit like that. I know,
You
it's a
definitely see it.
stereotype. Okay.
Yeah.
How do you, I mean, it can't be the stereotypical thing like a northerner such as myself thinking about it. Can you elaborate on that?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that? Your voice kind of cut out.
Oh, I'm sorry. I said it can't be how a typical northerner like myself thinks of it. So can you elaborate on, you know, what it's actually like down in
Um,
Bumfuck, Alabama?
well, I was born in Birmingham and I was raised predominantly up north in Indianapolis, Indiana. But I have very, very, very strong Southern roots. My mom is from Texas. She was raised in between Texas and Alabama. So, I mean, being in Indianapolis all my life, I still didn't really fit in. Because I was raised so differently from others with those Southern values, you know, it was like I stuck out like a sore thumb. And even being here in Alabama is the same way because I'm Southern, but I wasn't raised here all my life. I came back here to have my kids. So I've been in
Okay.
Birmingham and now I'm in Huntsville. But I mean, it's I really feel like there's not too much of a difference, to be
Okay.
honest.
Okay. Okay.
It is definitely country. It's
Okay.
definitely
Yeah.
country here. Even being at the end of 2017 going into 2018 is definitely country. I've passed I'm in Huntsville. My dad and my stepmother, they live in Harvest. That's about maybe 30 minutes out from where I am now. And I passed cotton. We passed, cotton fields and all of those things. Okay, so it's like and let me stop because okay, I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. That's
Someone was
okay.
like calling in my phone, but
Okay.
I have never experienced like racism the way that until I got to Alabama. Like I've experienced blatant racism here, and it's
Okay.
not like somebody coming up and pushing me out of the way. It's just the mannerisms of the black people here are totally different than the black people up north.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
I've literally seen people in the grocery aisle and just walking down the street clear a whole sidewalk so that a white person can walk by.
Oh,
Um,
hell no.
I'm not playing with you when I say that. I've been to flea markets with my children's father in the past, and he has gotten the dirtiest looks. My children's father is a deep dark brown, and he's a big guy. I like my men very solid. So I mean, and I'm from
Okay.
up north, and I have that southern spirit, that southern upbringing, but I'm
Mm-hmm.
still up north, and I claim both as my home. But
Okay.
just seeing how
Okay.
this man was just looking at my baby daddy, I'm like, why is he
Wow.
still like? Why is he like? It looked like he was like, if looks could kill.
Mm-hmm.
if looks could
Uh-huh.
kill. So it's like it's more passive because as soon as I made eye contact with the guy and I had this look of disapproval on my face, like why are you looking at my man like this? He kind of
Mhm.
moved his eyes away. It's kind of almost a passive racist type of deal. What I've been through, that's
Okay.
definitely totally different here than I've experienced up north. But for the most part, I really feel like the only difference is the competition between the Southern and the Northern, people. It's like Southern arrogance and Northern arrogance. At the end of the day, it's arrogance of who's better. But it's
Okay.
not too different, not from what I've experienced at least. The only thing is just the blatant racism. And I know you will get that anywhere, but it's just the mentality of Black people here and the mentality of Black people up north, like in Indiana, it's totally different. It's totally different.
Yeah.
It's almost like um, that slave mindset is still embedded in the people
Mhm.
who have been born and raised and never left Alabama. I've never been anywhere except for Alabama where people say, I've never came out of Huntsville. I've never left
Mhm.
Huntsville. And I'm like, what do you mean? Huntsville's kind of small. It's a great place. The cost of living here is really cheap. And it's a great place to maybe raise your kids, but I would not stay here for the rest of my life. So
I
I just
totally
don't
get that.
understand like how people say
Yeah.
I've never left Huntsville in my life. But
I
other
get it.
than that, it's not too different. It's nothing like a
Mhm.
culture shock thing or anything like that. Not
Okay.
too much anyway.
Okay. Okay. And would you consider yourself eclectic or you're a traditional witch?
Wow. At first I did
Ha.
consider myself eclectic because I used to practice Wicca and I went into hoodoo. But I feel like I don't even want to say eclectic because it was like that's really the main two predominant practices I've had experience with, and that's about it. So right now, as of right now, I'm a very traditional person. If you watch my videos, I am constantly going on and on about people who are, trying to switch up tradition, and how knowledge is getting lost because people are not sticking to tradition, but so I
Mhm.
definitely would consider myself a more traditional hoodoo conjure woman.
Okay. Okay. Um, that's funny. We have that same starting path because I started in Wicca for a long time before I moved into hoodoo, then voodoo, blah blah blah.
Awesome.
Yeah. But what you're saying, if I'm hearing you correctly, is that people won't have a certain foundation to stick to and then branch out. Am I hearing that correctly?
Right. That's exactly what I mean. And I mean, I feel
Okay.
like now it's more, I feel almost obligated. I kind of feel like my ancestors are pushing me further and further into voodoo because let's be honest, I feel like hoodoo is a lot more dangerous in the sense anybody can jump into it and do anything. Voodoo is a religion, so with
Mhm.
voodoo, it's more fixed. You have to go to, your Orisha head or however that goes, and ask
Mhm.
permission before you do something. Whereas in hoodoo, if they say, okay, do what you want to do, manipulate this energy, do that, but they're not going to
Mhm.
really tell
Mhm.
you, no, there's not going to be an energy that tells you no, unless you work with your ancestors and they don't agree. Um,
Right.
so, I mean, other than that, I just feel obligated towards the tradition
Right.
because I am Creole. I come from a Creole background, a Creole family.
Mhm.
And I I feel like my ancestors have kept me on such a good track with that, and they have exposed so much knowledge that it is not even being presented to me directly from family, like my mother, my grandmother. They will never admit that they are conjure women, not even to her own kids, but you catch it. You catch it if you pay attention.
Mhm.
So I'm definitely a more, traditional person.
Okay. Okay. And so I heard you say earlier when we first started, you said that something about dabbling. How do you feel about dabbling?
I feel like dabbling can be dangerous, but with my experience and how I started, it was the only way that I learned. I am not one to say, don't do that love spell, don't do this, don't do that, because it's like, I feel like I feel like as human beings, it's human nature to just go against, the rules. So
Mhm.
a lot of times we learn in the hard way. I feel like you cannot truly get a desire out of your system until you go through it and
Mm,
realize this is why I don't want to do it. And now I don't have the desire to do it anymore. That's kind of how I learned.
okay.
So, I mean, I'm
Hmm.
sure it's different for other people, but for the most part, I feel like everybody can identify with that to some aspect or, some in some shape, form, or fashion.
Right. And the kind of dabbling I was referring to, no, that's great that you jumped into it because I had to do it the same way. I had to learn the hard way. But what I mean by when I say dabbling is the stuff that I'm seeing on Facebook and people just not knowing what the hell they're not actually taking it seriously. And for somebody who actually is a perfectionist and takes it seriously, this path, that just makes my ass itch. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I meant. I'm not saying
I mean,
dabbling. Yeah.
totally, I agree. And I talk about this time and time again with my little brother. He's a necromancer and a blood sorcerer. So,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's learned his lessons the hard way too. But as far as dabbling in that sense, it's disrespectful because I feel
Thank
like
you.
you're not only offending the tradition of where
Mm-hmm.
this comes from, you're offending the spirits that you're calling on to help you. And in
Mm-hmm.
my my experience, the spirits whooped my ass, excuse my language, when I was
No, cuss.
okay, cool. The spirits whooped my ass when I said, you know what, this is wrong, I'm going to hell, knowing exactly who I was after I had conjured them into my life and asked them to help
Okay.
me with certain things and help me learn. And they put me through so much darkness because I betrayed them. And I know that
Mm-hmm.
sounds so hard. That probably is very difficult for a lot of people to understand. I
Mm-hmm.
could go on and on for days about everything that I've been through, just with
Mm-hmm.
my struggles. And it was
Mm-hmm.
mostly with the spiritual, aspect of things, with the spirits involved and, the entities involved. They were very offended. And I feel
Mm-hmm.
like when you step into that, because let's face it, a lot of people who dabble in the sense you're speaking of right now, they step into the deepest, darkest stuff that they know they ain't got no goddamn business touching. And it's
Right.
like, it's deeper than
Mm-hmm.
they realize. It's like you're calling
Mm-hmm.
on these entities and these spirits, and they think they think you're doing right. And then, of course, the spirit sizes you up. Of course, the spirit sizes you up. I feel like we've all been through
Mm-hmm.
that. We woke up with something standing over us, like, what up,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I I feel like the dabblers usually at some point the spirit is going to get fed up and they just kind of they scare you off. The dabblers who
Mm-hmm.
aren't serious, they're not going to stay in it for very long. So one part of me, it makes me feel I'm very offended. But another part of me is like, go ahead, do what you're gonna do. You're gonna see what's gonna happen. You're gonna get a good kick in the ass. You know what
Right.
I mean? So
Right. Right. And I've known certain people who presented themselves a certain way online, and they supposed to be all these powerful things, blah blah blah, and then couple months or maybe a year later, I see these same people running to Jesus. I'm like, what happened to you? I've seen somebody like this recently who portrayed herself as being this magical vampire, and she was saying she was clairvoyant and all this. 2, 3 years later, she was living on the streets, lost a whole bunch of weight. Man left her. She was crying on Facebook, asking for money to help her pay her rent. I'm like, wow, you were just this big old bad witch. So how do you not get yourself out of those situations?
hmm
And Spirit told me, yeah, she was dabbling in the shit and trying to, make an impression on people, and in the end, it didn't end well for her. So
that's usually how it goes.
yeah. Hmm.
That's usually exactly how it goes. You know,
Hmm.
um, you dabbling and you trying to do it as a lifestyle, but you're not willing to actually put the study, the work, the effort
Hmm.
behind it. Because let's face it, this is not an easy path. People think what we do creates an easier path in the more mundane physical world when it actually makes it tougher because we have to learn twice the amount of lessons. So if you're not serious about this, you are going to end up shit creek without a paddle.
Hmm. Yeah. Absolutely, wise words from Shadow Witch Seductress. I totally 2000% agree with that. You know, like you said, people think it becomes easy. Like, no, that's when it becomes trying, when you make this a lifestyle.
Yep.
So how do you deal with bad energy? Is there a specific thing? I mean, I don't expect you to like spill your secrets here, but is there a particular way that you like to share that you deal with bad energy?
I work with the spirits of the dead. And I have
Okay.
an altar that I don't even keep out in the open. I have 2 altars out here. I got an altar for my brother, you know, because he works with Aphrodite really heavy. So that's in my living space. I have an altar for my ancestors. That's in my living space. If you come over to my home, you know that Shadow Witch Seductress lives here. But that's one altar in my bedroom is where nobody touches. Nobody touches it. No family, nobody. Not even my mate. He steers perfectly clear of that altar.
Okay.
Because those spirits are no joke. Like these are the same. This is the same way, same method that I work. You know, workings and spell works and crafts for my clients. You know, I keep a tarot deck for specifically for them on that altar, just like I have a tarot deck specifically for my ancestors.
Okay.
I just recently got a new tarot deck, a vampire tarot deck. I think I posted on Facebook, and my brother got it for me, and I keep it on my altar for the spirits of the dead. You know, and that's, I mean, when I tell you they are no joke, they are no joke. Now there are 2 groups of, you know, spirit. There's the more benevolent type of spirits, and then there are really dark entities, you know. And those dark entities, they never let me down, but they never let me slip. Because when I say, okay, do this for me and I'll give this to you, I have literally had times where I've forgotten to come through on my part, and I could not light a candle. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? My candle is snap, crackling, and popping like Rice Krispies in a firecrackers. And you know, is hissing, and I'm like, what is going on? What are you trying to tell me? Because you know, like I've had the lights in my apartment complex go turn totally out. I look outside, everybody else's lights are okay except for mine. You know, like they don't play. I have woken up many nights and I've seen entities walking around my room, and I know, you know, it's from that altar. It's definitely deep and it's definitely serious. And these spirits, like I said before, they definitely sized me up. They scared the hell out of me, you know, to make sure that I was really about that life. And I guess, you know, I have a really good relationship with them now because, you know, I'm the type that's like, I will walk through my house cussing out a spirit if they disrespect me, you know, like, or they do something that kind of throws me off. Like, right. Like, I think
look, don't play with me today, goddammit.
Exactly. Like that was me. Like the first time they sized me up, I woke up, there was 3 entities standing over me, holding me down. And like they wouldn't let me talk, they wouldn't let me move. And I'm like, okay, I'm trying to move. I'm trying to call for my mate. Like, you better wake up. And I'm like fighting. I ain't never fought so hard in my life, you know. And they gave me a dream before I woke up and saw that in that state, you know, about my kids. And I don't play about my kids. Like, don't fuck with my kids. You know what I mean? And I knew it was just a dream. I know they was just sizing me up, but I had got up out that bed. I said, y'all done came up in my house after I done gave y'all offering and welcomed y'all into my shit. And you walking around here fucking with me and my emotions about my kids? Y'all gonna get the fuck up out of here. So I had walked through my house and I had, you know, burned some Satan Be Gone incense, some sage. And, you know, ever since then, they never really, you know, we're on good terms, you know, like they would do little things after to try and scare me. I'm like, no, we're not doing that because I can get y'all up out of here, you know.
Right.
And you know, it's been an experience, a very life-changing experience.
Yeah, they love to test you. I mean, what they're testing is your energy, and if, like you said, if you about that life. Because I remember I was in my ritual space one time, and I had the ritual music going on, and this this is when I started the dark path. And I think I had a pen on the altar, and I know it's gonna sound crazy, but the pen lifted up and then fell back down real quick. And I'm like, I got mad. I was like, "Whoa, what the fuck? What are y'all doing?" You know what I'm saying? So I started cussing, but I seen a lecture with Bobby Hemmett who said he has done that also. It's like he cussed the spirits out. He said they just like you and me, and yet they your ancestors. So
right.
yeah. That's just funny that we've had the same experiences.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, inspirations. Oh, I'm sorry.
An
Before you answer that
inspiration.
question,
Okay.
before you answer that question, we got a question in the chat room.
Okay.
Tamana Ali Bey says, "What are your thoughts on theurgy or theurgy?" Don't know. That
I'm
word
sorry. Can you
means that.
repeat that? I didn't hear what she said.
What are your thoughts on theurgy? I think that's how you say it. Theurgy.
I'm not familiar. Can you can you elaborate on that?
I sure can. It is the operation or effect of a supernatural or divine agency in human affairs. That's from Wikipedia.
I'm guessing you mean like just like what we were speaking about, like the different
I think so.
experiences that go on.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't take anything by chance or coincidence. I feel like when you blow out a birthday candle, I feel like when you get on your knees to pray to Jesus or whoever you pray to, you are inviting a lot of spiritual attention. And what we fail to realize a lot of times going about our day-to-day lives, when we are what I like to refer to as drifters, people just drifting in a cycle, not really knowing what's going on around them. Kind of get spooked when things like that happen. But this is just existence. It happens. A lot of times, things who try to reach out to you that complain to gifts. I know people who are channels. I know people who are clairvoyant who communicate. But I don't, like I said, I don't take anything by chance or coincidence. Sometimes these things have messages to give us. And there's only so much you can really. There's only so much we can do to reach out back out to them, and when we're not familiar with how to communicate with them. But a lot of times in my experiences, there are messages. I don't overlook anything. Sometimes you can be in the wrong place at the wrong time because there are some angry spirits and entities that have not passed over or whatever the case may be, and they don't want you there. And that could be just them telling you to get the fuck out, or leave us alone. But for the most part, when you're inviting these energies into your house, it shouldn't scare you. It shouldn't, throw you off or anything. Sometimes you just ask them, I don't understand what you're trying to say. Because I do get a lot of popping on my altar upstairs in my room. And I'm like, listen, y'all gonna have to communicate better than this because I don't know what the fuck's going on or what y'all trying to communicate with me about. So it's just a matter, it's a matter of, try to reach out to them, if you're going through something like that or if you experience things like that, just do your best. They come in dreams, they come to you in a lot of different ways. So, but I don't take it by chance or coincidence. There's always a reason behind it. Always.
Right. Yeah, it's gotten to the point. I've been practicing so long. I've been called Shadow Man by my wife, and kids, and or they'll say, when our company come over, don't have your friends out here, and they referring to the deities. But I'm like, it's just like normal everyday living with me. So yeah, I definitely get that, and hopefully Tamana Ali Bey, she answered your question. So now back to my question. Do you have any inspirations when it comes to magical practice?
Inspirations. I feel like I never really had an inspiration, to be honest. You've definitely played a huge role in my growth. I think we've known each other going on maybe 3 years now.
About
You
3
have
years.
taught me so much. So if anybody as of right now is my inspiration, it's you. It's definitely you.
Oh, thank you. I did not expect that. Thank you. But I appreciate that.
Other than that, like I said, I have to give all the praises to my ancestors,
Gotcha.
because when I first started out, because I have so many people in my family, like my mother and my nana, who just refuse to come out of the closet and teach what they know. It's like the spirit literally has guided me through everything. It's guided me to the people I'm supposed to be with, or the people I'm supposed to meet, or I'm literally engulfed. I had to realize the other day, when I walk outside, it's a different world. Like other people don't do what I do. They're not exposed to people or situations I'm exposed to. So sometimes I just gotta, calm down a little bit.
Right.
But my inspiration definitely comes from my ancestors and, the spirits who have definitely guided me this far on my path and on my journey, and continue to stand beside me and help me as I go along. Because, oh my gosh, the universe knows, like, it has not been easy at all.
Right.
But people like you and my spirits, of course, have helped me so much. And like, when I see the drive, when I see people who are just as serious about me, about what it is we do, it continues to push me. It continues to drive me.
Okay. Great. So I know you like to read, right?
I love to read.
Okay. You ever printed out a book this big? You see how big this is?
Have I ever printed out a book that big?
I have over 800 PDFs, and sometimes I will go print a book out. Yep.
I mean, I have a lot of PDFs too, and I've thought about it, but I'm like, what kind of crazy do I sound? But I mean, you were like, you're giving me life right now. I probably need to be doing the same thing. So,
well, my backups have backups. My tablets are backed up by my flash drive, backed up by my laptop, backed up by my phone. I don't want this. My books are my gold. So everywhere I go, no matter where it's at, I'm carrying books with me, but they're always magical books. I made them this way, especially because people are fucking nosy. I hate when someone asks me, what am I reading? What are you reading? I'm like, a book. So I mean, somebody asked me that recently. I'm like, a book, and gave her that same look. Yeah, I was like, a book, and she turned red. She turned really red and turned away. I was like, well, that's what your ass get. So
being nosy asses.
So you being a Virgo, is astrology a big part of your magical practice? Like, are there certain days where you'll take the astrological day to do certain things? Like today is Saturday. Would you be using this day to fuck with somebody or anything like that?
I mean, I find it, because I'm Virgo and I'm ruled by, Mercury, the planet of communication. Wednesdays are like my powerhouse days. I even notice, if you take a step back, you might notice, your day of the week, to your astrological sign, you might feel so empowered. You might be more productive on that day. That's usually how it is with me. I'm a writer as well as a reader. So I communicate the best when I'm writing. So usually Wednesdays are when I'm like, yes, I don't care what spell it is. I don't care what ritual it is. This is the day because I'm empowered. You know what I mean? So I definitely feel a difference in my drive and, my productivity when that day rolls around. Of course, there are some days that are good and some days that are bad. And some of those days do fall on Wednesday, when I'm just not at my best. Because I mean, we do get drained for what we do, and I need to get better at my spiritual cleansing. I think everybody falls short sometimes at some point.
Right. It's like people do not understand that we do get drained, and sometimes we have to.
Right.
What I have started doing these days, because I took on so many clients, which is my dumbass fault, but I'll walk out in my backyard and walk barefoot on the earth and just breathe in the air, and just a way to cleanse myself. Or like I said in another video, I go smoke a cigarette and that grounds me. So yeah, I definitely agree with you on that, on the drain. It's kind of hard to come back from it, but
very difficult.
Yeah, it's difficult. And people think the shit is easy, and I'm like, it's not easy. Nothing about this lifestyle is easy. You have any challenges? Come across any challenges with unethical people?
Do I come across any challenges with what?
With unethical people.
I don't.
You don't? Okay.
I
Okay.
mean, I feel like when it comes to clients, yes, hell yes, because a lot of times clients don't really realize. I get a lot of people that come to me because they know I'm Shadow Witch Seductress. I don't give a fuck if you're asking me to curse or bless. I got you. You know what I mean? As long as my spirits are giving me the go ahead to do this on your behalf, then we're good. But a lot of people come to me with unrealistic expectations, and they like, I want this person to get hit by a car, and I want this person to fall down the stairs and break their neck. And I'm like, whoa, 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 hold up, okay, hold up. You know, I feel like the blocks and the obstacles with unethical people is just the fact that they can have unrealistic expectations. Like, oh, you cheated
Okay.
on this person, but you want them back. I get that. I totally get that. But you want them coming back, crawling to you on their hands and knees after you did something wrong. Okay, let me step back.
Right.
That's getting a little too personal. Okay, I understand that.
Right.
But the issue is, don't be unrealistic with me, because that's very, I mean, come on.
I got you.
You know, magic doesn't really change somebody's true nature. Why do you think that's going to take them out their character after they standing firm in the fact that you did them wrong?
I've said this so many times, and I've officially stopped doing love workings because I'm tired of people coming at me, wanting people being, I mean, it's like a trend these days. I want this person to be obsessed with me, yet this fucking person don't even like you. I mean, you know, love is not hard. Love workings are not hard. You at least have to have some kind of mutual attraction. Yeah, exactly. To me all the time, I want this people to think about only me. Well, if they ain't gonna do it on their own, magic ain't gonna do it either. So
meet you halfway. You gotta meet it halfway.
Right. Woo, Lord have mercy.
But yeah, a lot of people don't understand the thing about stair steps. As hard as you have to work physically in this physical world, you have to work just as hard spiritually. If you want that man to propose to you or marry you, you got to figure out what the blocks and the obstacles are right now. Maybe he don't trust you. You got to start doing healing work. You got to start doing work to open up the trust. And you got to also work on your half, not to work against your work, you know? People don't really understand the concept of baby steps and stair steps and one step at a time and doing things in the right order, targeting the right things to reach an outcome. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. And a lot of people just, we're in an age with instant gratification and people just want things instantly. And the crazy thing is, it's like, even if I could give you what you want instantly, without all the hard work, you would not value it. And I guarantee you would hit that person or that thing would hit the door faster than it came in. So, I mean.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. How far are you going to be going in your magical practice? Are you going to, you know, eventually move into even more paths, or you just strictly hoodoo?
Like I was saying earlier, I feel like my ancestors are kind of pushing me to a more structured, you know, practice. And I feel like if I were to go into anything, it's voodoo. And that also goes back to my roots and my traditions, my bloodline. So I feel like if anything, I will branch out to a more structured, you know, practice. But I mean, this is a lifestyle for me, you know. It's a complete lifestyle. I honestly don't know what is coming next, because I'm flying good at my plateau and I'm good and I'm content. And then my ancestors come and bam, all right, they knock me on a whole new level. I'm like, whoa, what the fuck just happened? You know what I mean? So,
Right.
I mean, I'm just kind of expecting it now. I know I'm gonna level up. Like recently, like my intuition has skyrocketed and I'm doing readings after readings after readings. So I'm kind of going through that drain right now. But I know after this drain, something's about to happen. I'm gonna go back up again, somewhere to a new level. So I'm just taking it as it comes, you know, because this is a lifestyle and I've accepted that and I'm ready for whatever, you know.
Okay, let's see. All right. You test out a lot of rituals before you even talk about it or anything like that? Because one of the things I like to do, you know, I'm married, is I like to try out certain stuff that I may give to a client. You know what I'm saying? Is there do you do anything like that? Like test out rituals first?
I do. I think that's very, very, very important, because once you reach a level in your spiritual practices, you won't be reading out of a book for rituals. You're going to be
Right.
moving free-handed, and that's kind of
Right.
where I'm at right now. And of course, I go back to the traditional hoodoo, you know, with walking the candles together, different things like that, just in a more ritualized manner with the spirits of the dead that I work with. But there are things that have come to my mind, like recently or not too long ago, I was impressed to do a binding jar, you know, spell and write one out and do it. Honey, I had to practice that thing and try and figure out how to do it. And it's tough dealing with things on that in that nature because binding is serious, you know? So but
Yes.
I don't like to give my clients, I don't offer them anything that I've never done for myself and that has
Right.
never worked for me on multiple occasions. So like
Okay.
recently I'm finding whenever I find something is working out, then I'll put it on my, you know, my services list. You know, okay, if I want to offer this to you guys, then okay, I'll put it on services. But it is definitely
Okay.
guaranteed that I have tested it out. I have, you know, worked this and saw what worked and what didn't work and what needed to be tweaked or fixed, you know, before I actually put it
Right.
out there, whether on my YouTube channel or to offer it as clients.
Okay. Okay. Great answer. Great answer. How you feel about mantras? You like
Mantras
mantras?
are amazing. Like that is the easiest freaking thing in the world you could do, you know.
Mhm.
I mean, I feel like because so many people have so much problems, you know, with meditating. I mean, even me,
Mhm.
you know, I get off
Mhm.
track sometimes. I've had spirits yell at me, you know, I go into a trance state and my mind is racing and I've heard Allie, you know, Allie is my nickname. So Allie, quiet your mind. And I'm like, whoa, who said that? Okay, I'm sorry, you
Mhm.
know. So I'm sure we've all been through that, you know, where we can't
Mhm.
meditate and quiet your mind and just try and let whatever comes.
Mhm.
Mantras have definitely helped me throughout my
Mhm.
meditation journey. I have, you know, different tones,
Mhm.
different sounds, different, you know, a string of these words that I am repeating over and over and over again. And you're focusing on that, and you know, and you get the right ones, you can manifest a lot of things with just that. I've seen a
Mhm.
lot of things
Mhm.
happen. I've charged different things, you know, like mala beads, you know, different things of that nature.
Mhm. Mhm.
It's definitely effective, and I feel like anybody can do it without, you know, without fail if they
Mhm.
really put their, you know, put effort into it.
These stay with me. You know how you already know how I feel about
Uh-huh.
mantras. That's my thing right there. And this is the book, The Mystical Formula. Very powerful book. I've told this in the group several times. If you don't have this book, please pick this book up. 400 mantras, over 400 mantras for everything, even for a retrograde. So, I mean, yeah, mantras, that's my backbone right there. And mantras
Most
are
definitely.
all you. It's all your personal power. You're not appealing to anybody except your higher self, right?
Most definitely.
Okay. And so do you have a website?
I don't. I actually have one in construction right now, and I have been
Okay.
all year. People have been like, "Oh, are you selling your hot foot powder? Are you doing this or what's going on?" And I'm like, "Okay, it's under construction." But I'm a Virgo, and as you know, because you are one too, I'm a perfectionist. So I'm not gonna
Yeah.
put anything out
Hmm.
there that is not up to my standard. So right now, it's in construction.
Hmm.
I do not
Hmm.
have the exact date when it will go. I'm gonna go ahead and launch it, but it's definitely something that I've been bombarded
Okay.
with, and it's definitely coming.
Okay. Okay. Um, so can you tell us are you able to find your YouTube channel for
Yes,
someone who may be looking, who may want to subscribe to you?
most definitely.
What's your, how do
My
you
YouTube.
find you?
I'm sorry. What did you say?
Well, I found you. I'm subscribed to you, but how does one find you on YouTube?
I usually just say, you know, just go to the search bar and type in Shadow Witch Seductress. Yeah, I will pop right up. I should pop
Okay.
right up.
Okay.
I'm on Snapchat,
Snapchat.
and
Okay.
I'm just now using that as a platform. I give away, like, I'm starting to do free reading giveaways. The next one will be on my YouTube channel. But
Okay.
Snapchat is for, like, what I say, you know, my nosy followers who want to see what I'm doing, because I'll be cutting up on the daily. You know, most people look at me
Okay.
and they think I'm just this spiritually enlightened person. I'm like, I'm just like you know what I mean? So
Right.
Snapchat is another platform that I'm on. You can search on Snapchat Read Girl 2, READGIRL, the number 2, and Shadow Witch Seductress should pop right up.
Okay. Read Girl too. That's interesting. What does that mean? What's the story behind that one?
Okay, so when I was like 10 years old, I got my first email account.
Okay.
And my dad was like, what do you want? What do you want your username to be? And I'm like, I don't know. He was like, okay, well, what are you interested in? I'm like, I like to read. He was like, okay, well, let's do read girl and add a number too. So it was the most random, but you know, I don't know, whatever.
Okay. QD Galore says, I believe I need more Hilo/assistance with charging.
I'm sorry, what did she say?
I'm not sure if this is a man or a female, but QD Galore says, I believe I need more HELO/assistance with charging.
Um,
Can you?
I think charging is really, really, really easy. I think people, because something is so simple, people they don't want to believe it works, but you guys have got to have faith in the power of your words, in the power of your mind. That imagination will take you very far. You know, it's as I charge my candles just by cleansing them, you know, Florida water or, you know, something of that nature. And I'll put my hands around that candle and I will pray. I'll speak over that candle. I will visualize white light going into that candle. And that is literally how I charge my candles. It's as simple as that. Just focus. Just focus on your intention, focus on what you want, put your hands over it, speak over it. You'll be surprised how much, you know, especially crystals absorb, you know. So I mean, it's very, very, very simple. It's just a matter of focus and being very clear with what it is that you want.
Right. You were present for my Malabid empowerment, right? You know, did you find that to be hard? I thought it was really easy, and it didn't even go the hour that I thought it would take. So how did you feel about that? That was the charge of, you know, the Malabids.
Oh, like that, the empowerment ritual that you did, it was very, I think the first one I was outside and I was sitting out in the sun and you know, it was really easy peasy. It was like, I even caught on to what you were saying, you know, so I started repeating it too. And one time I think the next one that we did, because I know it was like a series that we did.
3 days.
I was coming out of the mall and, you know, I was shopping and I was like, oh, snap, what time is it? You know, so I had put my headphones in and we had got on the group call and it's the same thing. I'm in the car driving home. My baby's in the back seat screaming and everything, you know, and I'm just, you know, going with it. And it just worked very, very, very well. Like that empowerment ritual was like amazing. Like, I loved it.
Thank you. Thank you. I was glad to have you there with me. Hope somebody's asking for help. This is Priscilla. You know Priscilla Simone, aren't you friends with her?
I don't know. Possibly. I'm more familiar with profile pictures, if anything.
Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. Anything else that you think that's really easy as far as not the path itself, but how long did it take you? Do you read tarot, right?
I do.
How long did it take you to get good at it?
I'm definitely still learning because like I said, I've been going through like an intuitive like jump, and like I've learned new interpretations of cards. You know, I've learned predominantly all the cards. It took me about 3 years ago. I got a reading done and somebody was like, you're very intuitive and I see all these things coming in for you, but you need to exercise that intuition. You need to exercise your clairvoyance. And they said you need to pick up some form of divination. And I did, and I chose tarot and I've been practicing ever since. So I definitely feel like that that played a huge role in, you know, my development with it, just exercising it. But I've been reading for 3 years now, and it definitely, like, I mean, it happened a lot quicker than I think. Like, I do readings for family, I do readings for everybody, you know, and they're like, how did you catch on so quick? That's so many cards. And it is, because it overwhelms me sometimes, you know. But it's mostly like an intuitive thing. I feel like there are two different types of readers. There's intuitive readers and there's just regular ass tarot readers, you know, who just memorize the cards, lay them out, you know, and they read them, and they can be accurate as fuck, you know, but intuitive readers can delve deeper, and they're like, well, this card means this in this, but I feel like this is more suited for your situation. I'm feeling this, you know. So it's just a matter of, you know, your gifts, and also you gotta study.
Right, right. Because I'm at the point now, I have like 7, 8 tarot decks. This
Mm-hmm.
is my favorite one. I read them. I'm one of the intuitive now because when I first started with a long time ago, maybe 10 years ago, when I first started, I had to read the book to, lay them out. And before I even tried to read for someone else, I was reading for myself all the time. So
Right.
now it's intuitive. I'm one of the intuitive readers now,
Awesome.
but it took me years. It was not an overnight effect. I don't know of any tarot readers that just catch on to it quickly. I'm sorry. I just don't
It
know of
definitely
any that
takes
do
time. I
that.
mean, that's a lot of cards. It's a lot of cards. You gotta
Yeah.
gotta get familiar with the
Right.
suits, the wands, the
Right.
the pages, the swords, all of that. You gotta know what these things mean. You gotta know what exactly which cards, like
Right.
it's a
Right.
lot. You're not gonna
Right.
catch on that much, but I will say you catch on quicker the
Mhm.
more vicious your studying is. The more
Right.
serious you are about it,
Right.
the better you're
Right.
gonna start getting it.
Right. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Nikita Tillis says, can tarot help me with finding out what vision my mother had of me when I was around 6 or 7? It scared the hell out of her. 20 years later, she still wouldn't tell me. What do you say to that?
I feel like somebody just actually reached out to me and was like, "Oh, can you do a reading for me and delve into, this part of my ancestry?" And I'm like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa. I don't know how to do that. I'm gonna be honest." But
Uh,
I don't put anything past those cards. If you're calling on the right spirits, they're gonna show you what you need to see.
right.
But I feel like it's gonna also go beyond
Right.
tarot because tarot is still so compact. There's only so much
Mhm.
you can get out of it. That's why we lay
Right.
down so many cards
Right.
because we're reading a story in the cards. Um,
Right. Right.
so I definitely feel like tarot can help guide you where you need to go. But I definitely feel like there will definitely be more things outside of tarot that you will be drawn towards or pushed
Mhm.
towards to find out
Mhm.
the answer to that question.
Right. Let me just piggyback off that one and say that you may need a channeler or a medium for that one.
Most definitely.
And that's not something I do either. And I had no interest in doing that, to be quite honest. That's a lot of energy you're taking on, and I'm just not willing to do that. That may sound selfish, but I value my energy. Shit. Sorry. But okay. All right, let me see. And right, like Priscilla Simone said, yes, the meanings will change too, because I was just telling sorry. I was just telling a client recently that tarot is not set in stone either. And no form of
Right.
divination is. It can change, it's fluid. So, I'm very transparent when I talk to a client about a reading. I said, this can change, but this is what I see. And I feel like it's really, really important to be transparent with your clients. How do you feel about that and your clients?
Right. I feel like that's definitely something I tell my clients with the tarot reading because a lot of them freak out when they see that tarot card, the what is it, the tower? I'm tripping.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Um,
That's
and I'm
how.
like, well, just
Mhm.
this is the way that I explain it is tarot is based on it looks at your past and it looks at what's going on in your future. And the future is pretty much based off of what path you've been on, what path you are on, and what path it looks like you're going down right now. And a lot of
Mhm.
time people have such a difficult time breaking away from change that the tarot do play out. But I have also seen it totally change, especially in
Mhm.
relationship situations where one day somebody is probably like, "Oh, I want to take this serious," and then the next day somebody's like, it can
No.
definitely
Mhm.
drastically change.
Right.
Um,
Right.
but it just depends
You're
on
talking
where
about
you're going.
you're talking about that card.
Yes, the tower. That
Tower.
I loathe that card.
Mhm.
I loathe that card.
Loathe.
I loathe it.
Only.
Like I don't like that because it's abrupt. It's like that energy off that card. It gets me like what the fuck now? Like what possibly else can you take away from me? You know what I mean?
Right, 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 right. There's certain cards I don't like seeing. I like seeing the death card though, because it doesn't necessarily mean. But here's one I don't like. I really don't like that card.
Which one is that?
This is the Deluge card. It is it's a major arcana card. And I don't like pulling that for clients because just looking at the symbolism on that, that's a lot of water. It can symbolize losing stuff. It can also symbolize emotions and a lot of it. It also can mean losing everything. Right. It can mean so many things, but it's dependent on the client situation. You see what I'm saying? That's one I loathe. I don't like saying that card.
Right.
I really don't. Yeah.
Now, my all-time favorite is the sun card. I will tattoo the sun card on me. I love seeing that card.
Right. That's a good card. That really is. We got another question from, or what's your intake on road opening practice and deities to work with? What do the both of you suggest on how newbies can get into tarot card reading?
I mean, it goes right back to what I was saying before. I give all my praises to my ancestors. I would not be here without them. Before you start working with entities or spirits of any kind, the first spirits of the dead that you should be reaching out to are your ancestors, because they're going to help you discern, and they will also bestow gifts upon you to learn how to discern, you know, a spirit that's coming in to take advantage of you, a spirit that you should or shouldn't work with, you know, and things of that nature. So it's kind of like your ancestors is etiquette school. You can look at it like that. They're going to teach you what you need to know. Sometimes it's harsh, but you know, keep in mind they're your family. They're not going to steer you wrong. They're not going to steer you wrong.
Right. And yeah, just adding on to that, work with your ancestors first, folks. Don't try and get into no dark path like the clip off or the Kabbalah or like the Goetia. Don't do that right off the bat. But work with your ancestors for a while. See how they'll guide you. They will definitely give you totems and signs and symbols. Just pay attention. Pay attention to your dreams. They will guide. They've shown up so many times vividly that I had no choice but to start listening. But I was on the path to listening anyway. So I hope that answered. I love the 6 and 10 of cups. Okay. Nikita said that. She liked the 6 and 10 of cups.
I like the 10 of cups as well. I love that card. Just total fulfillment, you know?
Yeah, it is. It is. Tamara asks, I always had dreams of the dead, more so people I knew and not all our family members that transitioned. Someone said I may be a necromancer, but I have not claimed to be that either. Thoughts?
I mean, that's, ooh.
Yeah.
Getting into them dreams, honey, that kind of gets tricky because I'm no dream interpreter, but I'm going to tell you, I have had dreams. The reason why I'm so stuck to my tradition with hoodoo is because I remember meditating one day and telling him to show me what I need to know. And that was that day I told you I heard that voice. And it said, Allie, quiet your mind. I opened my eyes and, you know, I tried to go back into the meditation and I just was falling asleep. I said, y'all, I'm going to call it quits. I'm going to lay down. And they showed me, I laid down across the bed. I didn't even get in the covers. I laid down across that bed and I had a dream. They sent me the most blatant dream. It was like they dropped me into the middle of the past. And I looked around and I saw my family, you know, and they showed me things. Of course, I was disguised. I was a white woman in the dream. It was really crazy. But it was like they showed me. I saw my mother, but she was about my age. And I saw her what she had to go through. It was so like when I woke up, I was like in tears, you know. So as far as dreams, I know that your ancestors in different, you know, they will show you things blatantly. Sometimes it won't always be blatant. And sometimes, I mean, the way that they're going to show it to you is going to be the way that you need to take it or, you know, try and figure it out. But it could be that, you know, they're showing you on that path of necromancy. You know, that's in my family too. My brother practices necromancy like pretty deeply. So as far as the dream, that's something that, I mean, as with interpretations, I feel like it's very personal. I feel like everybody cannot interpret something for you. Sometimes messages are for you and only you. Which is why we have so many different websites and so many different inputs on what, you know, this means or what that means. So the best you can do about that is, you know, reach out to your ancestors and ask them, I don't understand this. Can you please give me a sign? Show me more, you know, let me know what I need to know. Because they're going to let you know if you're actively, consciously, you know, trying to reach out to them and figure out what it is they're trying to show you or tell you, you're going to get it. You're going to pick it up and you're going to realize what it is they're trying to tell you at some point.
Okay. Great answer. Very good answer. And I just want to say necromancy, unless you have gotten rid of the fear and be completely honest with yourself, unless you've gotten rid of the fear of reaching out to dead and having strange stuff starting to happen, I would have someone guide you into that, a necromancer.
Ooh, yes.
You know what I'm saying? Because that's when the weird shit can start to happen, not the Hollywood shit.
I live with one, so you can only imagine what I go through when he pull out that little black mirror and all that stuff he got going on.
Oh, like, yeah. That's not one of my fields. I mean, I just choose not to. It's to me at this thing. Yeah, it runs really deep. It does. So that's not, so again, something I wouldn't just jump into like that. I mean, you have all the time in the world to learn the arts. You really do. I mean, I think like at Shadow Witch Seductress said earlier, everybody wants things now, but it doesn't work that way with magical practice. It takes time. All right. Okay. All right. So can the ancestors help with physical, mental, and magical energy? I rarely dream anymore.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Most definitely.
Dreaming though, if I may take this question, dreaming is really, everybody dreams, they just don't remember it. You can take supplements to help you remember, like ginkgo biloba. You can take huperzine A, and you can take supplements like valerian roots, passion flower, chamomile. You can look at a botanica and see what, dreaming herbs like Calea zacatechichi is the name of that one. Synaptoleptis kirki, which is from South Africa. There's so much you can do to help you with that. So, I mean, of course, like Shadow said, go to your ancestors first. Just make that your first stop before you start doing any advanced work. Guide you. And I'm not, I'm no dream interpreter either. And sometimes I have a dream journal myself, and I know I write my dreams down all the time. So I know that's really personal for me. And I don't even try and get people to help me with my dreams, because the dreams I have would freak the hell out of some people. Okay. And did you have any final thoughts before we wrap this up? I have enjoyed this interview.
I have too. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. Did you want to say anything? How people may find you on Facebook or Etsy or anything?
Oh, yes. Like I said, I have the Snapchat. You can go Read Girl 2, READGIRL, the number 2 on Snapchat, and you'll see Shadow Witch pop up. I have a YouTube channel. Just type in Shadow Witch Seductress. That should pop up. And I have a Facebook page that is semi-active. I feel like more people are on it now, reviewing me for my readings more so. But you can type in Shadow Witch Seductress on Facebook, and you'll find me that way too. But other than that, I mean, I'm pretty easy to get in touch with. I live out of my phone. So email shadowwitchseductress@gmail.com. Usually underneath all of my videos, I put my email address for people to contact me. And I do offer free assistance with people who want to do their own spell work, because I just love to see people actually ready to take the time, take the initiative, and put in the work for themselves. So just, reach out to me if you need help, I'm here. So.
Okay. Wise words from Shadow Witch Seductress. And like I said, I have enjoyed speaking with this young lady today. She's very intelligent and magical. And I will put everything that she just mentioned in the description box. So until next time, this is Magick La Croix, the Magical Elite Supply Shop. I hope y'all have fun. I have fun. And I'll see y'all next time. And Happy New Year if you celebrate. Peace.